Good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Michelle Spiritual. I'm going to give you a word on tonight. We're going to talk about Hezekiah. He got sick. Who said prayers don't work? Prayers does work. And they're going to come from 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 1 through 11. Now, in those days, Hezekiah had become ill. And he was at the point of death. And you ever was sick, real sick, and you just feel like you at the end of your rope, like you just feel like death. But that's how he felt. He felt it like he was like he was sick, real sick, like that. So then a prophet Elijah, Isaiah, he came and he said, he gave him a word from the Lord. So this is what the Lord said. Put your house in order. Now it's one thing to be sick, and then the name of the Lord come and say, "Go put your house in order." Now some people, some of us, we don't get no we don't get no heads up, that you're gonna die to give you time enough to put your house in order. He gets some heads up. I need you to put your house in order because you is sick and you will not recover. You will die. Now that's something to get some news like that. But we don't get no heads. Now sometimes that just fall on you. But he got heads up. You about to die, so I need you to get your house in order. And see, that's what God's saying. We all need to have our house in order because you never know. You never know when that day gonna come. See, he know when the day gonna come because God telling him. God telling him your day gonna be coming, so get your house in order. So we know a lot of people, died, don't have a way out. The family fussing over this and that. But God gave him heads up and said, I need you to get your house in order. So this is what the Lord said. He said, put your house in order because you are going to die and you will not recover. Now that's something, that's something to say. I mean, that's something to hear, that you're going to die and you're not going to recover. But he didn't all walk away and went home. So now we see that God gave him heads up, to get your house in order, and sometimes death will come and will not know, but this time, God is letting him know to get your house in order. See, a lot of times we don't know. We don't know when that day gonna come. But God let Ezekiel know that day is coming. So after Israel had said what God had said, Ezekiel had turned his face to the wall and prayed to the Lord. Now that's the first thing you're gonna do. For someone to tell you you're sick and you will not heal, you will not recover. He wasn't accepting that. He was not accepting that at all. He didn't even left. He turned his head to the wall and he just started praying to God. And that's the first solution. That's what we have to do. When sickness come on you, trouble come on you, all kind of stuff come on. What the first thing you gonna do, or what you should do? Turn your face to the wall and start praying to God. Go in your closet, start praying to God. Go in your bathroom and turn the lights off and start praying to God. Wherever you have a small room in darkness, go up in there and start praying. So after Isaiah had said what God said, Hezekiah had turned his face to the wall and he prayed, to the Lord. And he told the Lord, remember, Lord, how I walked before you faithfully. So now he letting God know, God, I'm very faithful to you. And you meant to tell me I'm going to die and I will not recover. Come on now, God, I'm faithful to you. So and with a whole heart, not just only faithful, I'm faithful to you, God, with wholehearted, devotion. And he had done what is good in your eyes, and Ezekiel had wept bitterly. And then he left and was trying to go home. Who said prayers? See, prayers have power. Sometimes God will answer your prayers quickly, and sometimes he will take his time and answer you. But prayers work. You know, just power in prayers. You know, so prayer is one of the best preparation for death because by it give us strength, you know, and grace from God, you know, to enable us to finish well. You know, so he able to finish well. He able to get his house in order. You know, get everything situated. If he have children, you know, because you know sometimes children gonna be fighting over this and that. You know, so he restored it. You know, and some gathered from hence that he was unwilling to die, and that's how all us should be. You know, so he was unwilling to die. You know, so somebody tell you, you know, you're gonna die, you will not recover. You know, he wasn't taking it well. He wasn't taking it very well at all. You know, he turned his face to the wall and he prayed to God because there is power in prayers. You know, so Hezekiah, before Isaiah, you know, had left the middle of the court, you know, the word of the Lord came to him. Now we see that God about to answer him quickly. You know, that's what I'm saying. There's power in prayer. That's what I say. Sometimes God answers you quickly, and sometimes he will wave it out. You know, but he will answer you. You know, so before Isaiah can leave, because see Isaiah get Hezekiah the message from God. You know, told him he gonna die. You know, so Hezekiah he prayed to God, and then he left to see what God answer gonna be. You know, so before Isaiah can leave, the word of the Lord came to him. You know, I need you to go back. I need you to go back. Tell Hezekiah the roots, you know, of my people. This is what the Lord, you know, the God of your father David said, I have heard your prayers. You know, God heard his prayers quickly. You know, see, God knows sincere prayer. And he know one is just a quick trying to manipulate someone. You know, so God know your heart. You know, he prayed with a sincere heart. You know, because he wasn't taken down lightly. You say, I'm going, what? You know, get my house in order and there's no recover. What? You know, he wasn't taking it lightly at all. You know, so he said, God said, I heard your prayers. You know, seeing your tears. See, God see our tears. You know, God hear our prayers. You know, and God seek our heart. You know, he said, I will add 15 years on to your life. Now, you see what I'm talking about? You know, God said you're going to die and you will not recover. Now, what God said again? You know, he prayed with tears coming out of his eyes. God said, I heard your prayers. And now I'm about to add 15 more years onto your life. You know, so God said, I heard your prayers. And God said, I seen your tears. You know, and his prayers were very sincere. Because, you know, God answered him quickly. You know, so God said, I'm going to add 15 more years onto your life. You know, and I will deliver you. Not only add 15 years to your life, you know, but God said, I'm going to save your city. You know, so I will deliver you in this city from the hands of the king of Sarah. You know, so I will defend this city for my sake and for the sake of the servant of David. You know, so he not only gonna get 15 years onto his life. No, God also gonna save his city. You know, so we see Hezekiah had prayed, and when he was going to die, he wasn't taking it lightly. You know, I'm gonna die. You know, God just said there's no recovery. You know, but he wasn't taking it lightly. You know, and Isaiah told him. You know, but he turned his head and he just started praying. You know, he didn't want to hear that part, you know, I'm going to die and no recovery. You know, he going to die, but first, you know, God said you're going to die. There ain't going to be no recovery, you know. And then God said, what I need you to do right now, I need you to go get your house in order. Go get your house in order. You know, before he could get his house in order, you know, he turned his head to the wall and he started praying. And that's the first thing we ought to do in any situation. I pray all day. You know, I got all kind of little spot. I go in my closet, and somebody I go in the bathroom. You know, where you feel comfortable at talking to God. You know, that's where you go. You know, so Hezekiah had prayed, and there's power in prayers. You know, so when he was going to die. You know, he said he was going to die. First, God said, "Put your house in order." You know, he prayed, and now prayers work. You know, before Isaiah can leave. You know, before Isaiah can leave, and you know, he said the message already. You know, he just about to grab his belongings and leave. Before he can leave, God said, Isaiah, I need you to come back here. I need you to come back here. You know, tell him that I heard his prayers. You know, I will add 15 years onto your life. Not only add 15 years to your life, you know, but God said, you know, I will defend your city. You know, so God must see that he have a problem with his city. You know, God said, I'm going to add 15 years onto your life. And matter of fact, I'm going to defend your city. God said, I'm going to save your city. You know, so Hezekiah had let God know that he is faithful. You know, in his prayer, he said, my heavenly Father, I am very faithful. Remember, God, I am very faithful to you. You know, so God said, you're going to die. You're not going to recover. And so Hezekiah let him know, wait a minute, God. Wait a minute, God. Remember, I'm very faithful to you. You know, so Hezekiah's his faith, you know, in his prayers, you know, touch God. You know, he had the tears coming down. God said, I saw your tears. You know, so God heard and God healed him. You know, and God saved his city. Now, faith and prayers, if they are sincere and directly towards the one true God, you know, can change any situation. So, you know, see, if you pray to God with a sincere heart, you know, prayers can move mountains. You know, prayers can move mountains. You know, and we see that Hezekiah was dying until he prayed. You know, there is power in prayers. There is power in prayers. You know, and he can turn situation around like he did for Hezekiah, and not dying, but got 15 years added on. You know, now he's supposed to be dying. You know, he's supposed to be getting his house in order, which you need to still get your house in order. You know, but he's supposed to be dying. You know, not recovering. You know, but in the mix of not dying, you know, he getting 15 years added on. You know, not only 15 years added on, but God going to defend his city. You know, I'm going to defend your city. You know, I'm adding 15 years on to your life. I'm going to defend your city. I will heal you. You know, God going to do all that for him. You know, because Hezekiah had told him, remember me, God. Remember me, my heavenly Father. I'm a good prophet. I'm very faithful to you. You know, so we see that prayers work. There's power in prayers. You know, so not only did God add 15 years on to his life, but Isaiah prepared a policy, you know, a fig, and they did so and applied it to the barrel, and he recovered. Now, that he ain't gonna really believe that this is all you have to do and you're gonna be healed. Now, this a couple of days ago, I put something out, something like this on with Elijah. You know, not Elijah. I forgot his name, but Elijah was the one supposed to heal. You know, he had the leprosy. You know, and they told him about Elijah, the man of God can heal you. So he go to Elijah, you know, and he thought he was going to heal him like he thought, you know, in the name of the Lord, you know. But Elijah didn't even come out. You know, he told his servant, you know, give him instruction. Go dip in the water 7 times. Now we see this is the same. We see this is almost the same thing. You know, now God giving Isaiah, you know, direction on how to heal him. You know, he got the pollard fig. It's one of them big old things that you put on you. You know, old people use that back in the day. You know, put it on his barrel. You know, and he be recovered. You know, so now he don't want to hear that. You know, talking about you're gonna be recovered. Just putting a little fig or pilot is one of them big round things. Put it on my bro. You mean say I'm gonna be healed? You know, so he wasn't really assured that he gonna be healed just doing those steps like that. That's just how the other king was. You know, he thought he wasn't gonna be healed, dipping in the water 7 times. You know, so we see Hezekiah was sick to death. You know, but God said, you know, get your house in order. And then he prayed to God and heard him, and I heard your prayers, and he got 15 years added on to his life. You know, he was here, you know, and who said prayers don't work? There's power in prayers. You know, prayers do work. You know, now he was recovered. You know, Hezekiah had asked Isaiah, what would be the sign that the Lord will heal me and that I will go up to the tabernacle of the Lord on the third day you know, from now. Now now God said, God gave Isaiah, you know, direction what he's supposed to do. You get that pile of fig, you put that on his barrel, you know, and he should be healed. He should recover. You know, now he still want a sign. So that means he not fully believing these instructions right here that can heal him. You know, so he want to keep on asking the same question. You know, now God give Isaiah direction, give him instruction. You know, so we see Hezekiah was sick to death. You know, and God said, get your house in order. Hezekiah had asked Isaiah, what would be the sign? Now he trying to give God a sign. What would be the sign that the Lord will heal me and that I will go up to the tabernacle in the Lord on the third day from now? Now he want God to give him a sign. Now God said, I'm going to heal you. You know, so he either don't believe it or he wanted to be healed a whole other kind of way. You know, so Hezekiah had wanted God to give him a sign. You know, but when he will heal, when will he heal? You know, now he need faith that he will be healed. You know, he pretty much need assurance. You know, okay, God, he's gonna put this on my burn. You know, and I'm supposed to just be healed. So he didn't have no belief. He didn't have belief. You know, so Ezekiel had asked Isaiah what would be the sign. You know, Ezekiel want God to give him a sign when he will heal him, but now he needs faith to believe it. You know, he needs faith to believe it. And says that's the one thing. You know, God get on me all the time. You know, you got to believe. I believe, but you got to fully believe. You know, so he had to believe. He had to have faith, and he had to believe. If God said, I'm going to heal you, you know, if that's what God would want him to do. You know, so Isaiah answered. Now this is the Lord sign to you that the Lord will do what he said he would do. You know, so God said, you know, I'm going to do what I had promised you. You know, that's what he said. I'm going to do what I say. You know, so share the shadow. You know, go forward 10 steps, or should it go back 10 steps? You know, so the sign from God, you know, that God is doing what he said he would do. Do you want, you know, the shadow of advance, that 10 degree, you know, on the Saturday, you know, or go back 10 degrees? Now this is something that he asking, you know, for a sign. You know, we don't pretty much have to be asking God for a sign and stuff, but that's what he gonna be doing. Okay, so we see then the prophet Isaiah had called on the Lord, and the Lord made the shadow go back 10 steps. Remember, he asked this question about the sign. You know, that it had gone down on the stairway of going down the stairway. So Hezekiah doesn't know, you know, rather he was truly recovered, you know, seeking reassurance that he asked for a sign. You know, Isaiah prophesied that the Lord would alter the shadow on the sundial by 10 steps. Now he gave him his sign. You know, so no matter how he accomplished, you know, this supernatural resetting of the clock. God oppresses this display of his power, you know, over the supernatural world. So God at 15 years old, and healed him of his sickness, and God fulfilled his promise for Ezekiel. Prayers work. There's power in prayers. There is power in prayers. No matter what the situation is. There's power in prayers. So that's all the word I have for you on today. And that'll be something. So that's just like doctors. If the doctor tell you ain't got but 2-3 months to live, what you gonna do? You gonna do like Hezekiah. You gonna turn away to the wall somewhere and you gonna pray. That's power in prayers. We have to continue on being in prayer. And so by that's power in prayer. It worked it quickly. It worked it quickly. So he not only was God not only just add 15 years onto his life, but God also, gonna defend his sin. Gonna defend his sin. And then God also gonna heal him from his sickness. So he win-win every time. So that's all the word I have for you on tonight. Y'all have a blessed, safe night, and I'll see y'all on the next video. That ain't got no